Tonight, explosive new testimony in the E. Jean Carroll civil rape and defamation case against former President Donald Trump. On Wednesday, former People magazine writer Natasha Stoynoff took the stand to emotionally allege that Donald Trump sexually assaulted her in 2005 while she was interviewing him for a story at Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, recalling the horrifying moment when she says Trump invited her to see a room alone, saying, quote, "The door shuts behind me. He pulls me against the wall and starts kissing me." Stoynoff shared her story with People magazine in a rare on-camera appearance in 2016, after Trump implied he did not find her attractive, the only on-camera interview.
I think that he's saying there that only pretty women get assaulted.
During Stoynoff's testimony, Carroll's attorney also asked her about the now infamous Access Hollywood video, which recorded Trump saying he could grope women without their consent.
You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the
Stoynoff testifying, when first seeing it, I thought a little bit of relief. I actually, for the first time, thought he does this to a lot of women. While Trump won't testify in person, late today the jury heard from him in a pretrial video deposition. The plaintiffs playing an exchange where Trump said, "She's not my type. It never happened," adding he's never met Carroll, and repeatedly denies he's ever assaulted her, saying, "It's a very busy store, by the way, checkout counters and everything else. It's the most ridiculous, disgusting story, just made up." What about the fact that Donald Trump's attorneys are not going to call any defense witnesses? Does that make a difference?
Well, I think Donald Trump's lawyers intended to call a defense witness, and but for the medical issue that his psychological expert is having, they would have called him. But without any defense witnesses, their whole case at this point is going to be about the holes that they have poked in E. Jean Carroll's case.
Carroll has just a few more witnesses, including another close friend who she says she told about the alleged attack not long after it happened. The judge scheduled closing arguments for Monday, with the jury getting the case on Tuesday and beginning then to decide who's telling the truth. Tom?
All right, Ron, we thank you for that. The judge in the case, Judge Lewis Kaplan, saying that jury should receive the case for deliberation early next week. For more on the latest in this high-profile legal battle, I want to bring in attorney and friend of Top Story, Angela Senadella, also known as the lawyer Angela, on TikTok with more than 1 million followers. Angela, thanks for joining us tonight. I want to start where Ron left off there. Are you surprised that Trump's team will not present a defense in this rape trial? How unusual is this, or is this common?
So I'm not surprised that Trump himself is not testifying, but it is unusual for there to be almost no defense whatsoever. Look, this is a defamation case, so at heart, it's a he said, she said case. But at this point, it's really just a she said case, and there's almost no rebuttal. There was a deposition that was played, and it was just a blanket denial, but the jury's going to see there was no chance to cross-examine him. There was no chance to really get to the heart of what she's been accusing him of.
But when you don't provide a defense, what is the thinking? Is the thinking that your case is so strong that you've already proven it with your cross-examinations on the other side's witnesses?
So in a case like this, where it's about alleged battery, alleged assault, it really comes down to her credibility almost exclusively. And based off of the federal rules of evidence, where here it is allowed that other individuals are able to testify and give their personal examples of allegations as well. All of this is bolstering her credibility and just her credibility. So from his side, they're just saying, look, this allegation is so outlandish, and we're just going to attack her credibility and her credibility only.
So let me talk to you about how tough this case is for E. Jean Carroll, right? We're talking about an assault that happened, an alleged assault, I should say, that happened decades ago. And then you have what the defense cross-examined her on, right? Stuff on her social media accounts that she was a big fan of The Apprentice, a show that Donald Trump was the host of. It was a show based entirely about Donald Trump's persona. And the fact that she had shopped at that department store for several years afterwards. Did that damage her credibility at all?
So I think a cross-examination like that, that's very tough, and that's just really getting to whether or not she is true or real or did things perhaps like a traditional victim would not do, could actually hurt his case, because juries don't always like seeing an aggressive cross-examination where you're questioning whether or not this assault actually happened or the victim's behavior. We also saw from her side a psychologist testifying to the fact that this is somewhat standard behavior, and when you have PTSD from an assault like this, you're not going to behave like a traditional victim in the eyes of what Trump's party would say that he is, how one is supposed to act.
Well, with that sort of argument, do you think it was a mistake that Trump's legal team didn't provide a defense?
I think that it would have been very helpful for Trump's team to have somebody go up there and to defend his side. If they couldn't attack it based on his schedule or saying that he wasn't there that day or he had other arguments, I mean, the fact that no expert witness is up there saying anything leaves a gaping hole. So in the beginning of this trial, I would have said that, look, a defamation battery case from almost 30 years ago, likelihood that the plaintiff is going to succeed is low. But at this point, I actually think it's pretty high.
And what do you think is going to eventually happen here? What if the plaintiff wins here? What is Donald Trump looking at?
So to be clear, this is not criminal at all. It's only civil, which means that the only potential punishment here for Donald Trump would be damages. So there could be millions awarded potential for distress and for battery and for defamation.
Yeah, but of course, he's also launching another presidential campaign. And if he does lose his case, it could be devastating in the way he's painted both in the media and by his opponents.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.